Today we are going to look at the very foundation, the basics of electricity. So, this is a very introductory lesson on what is electricity. So, it starts with the atom. You guys have already learned the basics of the atom, so just quick review. Atom. It has three components, remember? It has protons that are in the center, they're positively charged. It has neutrons that are in the center. It actually holds all the positive protons together. And it has electrons, I use a different color for electrons. Electrons on the outside, they're negatively charged. Oftentimes they're drawn kind of in a circle around the atom. So now, everything's made of atoms. Everything's made of these components, protons, neutrons, and electrons, and other atoms would be next to this atom. So what does that have to do with electricity? Well, some materials, copper is an example of that, most metals, they actually, I need an eraser, people. I need an eraser. I don't know where I put my eraser. I guess that'll just have to do. Let's take a look at a copper pipe, for example. So let's say I have my copper pipe or piece of metal. Now it's made of atoms, it's made of copper atoms. And metals are kind of weird because what they do is, instead of drawing protons, neutrons, and electrons for each thing, I'm just gonna draw center of atoms with the protons and neutrons as circles. There'd be lots of these atoms, billions of these atoms in a copper pipe. So that's just representing the center, the protons and neutrons of a copper atom. And electrons would be typically associated or part of the atom. But in metals, copper especially, they're actually free to move between the atoms. So for example, they would normally kind of move randomly, but we have discovered, for example, if we put a positive charge over here and a negative charge over here, what will happen is the electrons, because they're negative, will be attracted to the positive and they will start to flow this direction. That's electricity, people. That's electricity. It's when electrons move. Now, there are other ways electrons can move. There's static electricity. There's what's called alternating current, where the electrons go back and forth. And then there's direct current, where they flow in a single direction. But that's the basics. It's electrons moving. Electricity. How do you think we got the name? Electricity. From electrons. See? Similarity. Electricity. I think you got it. So, what's electricity? Moving electrons, people. Moving electrons. Thank you for tuning in.